Hi and welcome everybody. This is Jennifer with 13 Moons Lodge. This reading is for the full moon in the 13th and final moon cycle in 2024. And so this is the second half of the moon cycle of Becomes Her Vision. And so let's jump in. Now, before I jump in, I just wanted to remind you that we have 2 new moons this month. So we had the first one 2 weeks ago, and then the next one is on the 30th of December, and then we begin again with a brand new cycle for the new year. But again, this is the full moon reading that I'm doing today for Becomes Her Vision. So just jumping into the cards, reflecting on the cards, I think it's a pretty basic, straightforward reading, but I'll jump in and just see what comes up here. So our significator card is the 9 of Cups. So we are entering, a lot of us, this is a general reading, but we are entering this phase, or we are in a period right now where we're feeling very abundant. We've made accomplishments. We're in some ways, some aspects of our life feel like we're nearing completion, or we've met goals, personal goals, in whatever manifestation form that is. I hope that made sense. But then following that, we have a Tower. So this is indicating me that, and there's some other cards here that are telling me that, okay, so let me just do it this way. So pretty much in the most basic sense, this reading is saying that there's a part of us that is aware of all the gifts and the blessings in our life. So we have a lot of gratitude. We're feeling very abundant in a lot of ways. But there's a lot of us that are at a point as well, according to this, that there's big changes coming. And this has been coming up, I think, in the last few readings. So there's changes in that we're feeling like we can't go any further in what it is that we're doing. So this might be in our work. This could be in a personal relationship. This also could be in our own life, in just our day-to-day routine. It's reflecting. So all this, it's like we've come to an impasse, or this end of this cycle that we've been on, or this journey. And so there is this deeper calling within us that is telling us that, that we are at the end. And it's because there's this feeling of being stuck or stagnant or not happy. And we're having a hard time envisioning, this is just what's coming to me. We're having a hard time envisioning where we're going or who we're becoming. So there's these changes coming, and that's what this Tower is about. So it's not things are falling apart. They might appear to be falling apart. Things I also had gotten intuitively that for some of us, it could be that things aren't working out the way we had thought they were. So there's been some disappointments as well. Yes, we have gratitude for everything that brought us to where we are, but things didn't work out the way we had planned. So not all parts of our life are meeting what we had trusted, where we were headed, or what we had thought it was going to look like. So there is some changes. We're being asked to look at what it is that we need to change, whether this is internally, intrinsically, or extrinsically, externally. So the following card is Strength. So this is calling us to be strong, to keep moving forward in our path in whatever way it looks like. But we are going to be making changes to how we are coming through or expressing ourselves. And in our journey, the broader scope of our journey, maybe one aspect or arm of it, we need to reinvent. Maybe we need to let go I am saying that because in the next row, we do have the 8 of Cups. So we are walking away from aspects that are not serving us, parts that we have been putting a lot of time and effort into. So this again could be a career, this could be a relationship, and this could be just belief systems, or again, how our daily routine goes, and it's time to switch it up. I'm just going to backtrack a little bit back to that top row because we have a clarifying card for that, and that is Father Christmas. And it says, how did you get here? Lost, perhaps? No worries at all. Gather yourself and clear the frost, for the good still lives in you, dear. And so there is that card. And that comes from Seasons of the Witch, the Yule Oracle. So this is just confirming and clarifying that we're grateful for everything that brought us to where we are. But yes, we recognize that we can't go any further. Like I had said, or things haven't quite worked out how we were planning for them to. We were taking all the steps and it's not quite what we thought. So that strength is about not giving up. And that's what this clarifying card is saying. Don't give up. Just brush the dust off and reevaluate, rethink your next step. Maybe it's just a tweak, or maybe it's a whole new way of looking at things. And maybe it is about just removing yourself from a situation, as is being told here, in whatever form that is for you. So following that, we have another Tower card. So again, 2 Tower cards in one reading, and they are actually one below the other here. And it actually came out like that. So big changes. I think some unexpected ones too. It also feels like for some of us, there's going to be, or there has been, some unexpected changes, things that are out of our control, that are forcing us to reevaluate our lives. And that could also be from, that is part of the walking away. So it might not even be a choice for some of us. Things are ending around us that we have no choice but to walk away from. It is in our own best interest to shift even that perspective that it's happening to us, and say, well, I am a part of this creation as well, which is truth. So it is on some level, right? In some level, it is, you're part of it. So owning your part of it in whatever way that works for you, and recognizing that you emotionally, mentally can detach from it in the best way possible that you can, and take steps to carry on, to move forward, and recognize, well, that's happened because it can't serve me in my highest good anymore. So again, whether this is something you are choosing, or seems to be happening outside of your control, it is about just taking ownership of the opportunity and the new path that is opening to you. And so staying positive. Again, these cards are already in this. Everything I'm intuiting are actually have come up here. So, and I will be touching on those as I read on here. So following that second Tower card, we have, and again, these are major arcana cards. So these are life themes. So it's about, so far, major changes in a nutshell, and being strong, harnessing, connecting with the strength. It is calling us to be strong, facing our fears. There's a lot of that happening in here too. Okay, I'm digressing again, but the final card in the second row is a Court card, and it is the King of Swords. So to me, this is about owning your power. A self-empowerment card is how it feels to me. It's about really decisively recognizing thoughts and beliefs and within us that don't serve us. But I also feel like there's a need here. So like, this feels to me like very swift, and recognizing that we are taking control and owning our power and making decisions on what is best for us. the energy I get from this card is that it's not cruel, but there is it's very much in the head or the ego, and there isn't any compassion or for self in it or for others. And I just feel like that's maybe what's missing here, that this is almost like a judgmental card, judgment towards others, judgment towards ourself, in maybe feeling like we failed somehow or not measured up. So I feel like this is a call to recognize, to remember to hold compassion for ourselves and for others as we are moving through this. So this row, especially with all these changes, and as we the fear and anxiety comes up, but recognizing we're also exactly where we're supposed to be. So this row is being clarified by the 8th house, endings and beginnings. See what I mean? I mean, you honestly, and I know I've said this before, you cannot make this stuff up, because this is all about, with those Tower cards and the 8 of Cups of walking away, and even the being lost, and how did you get here, and then to keep going. It's all about endings and beginnings. This is a full moon reading. Full moons are also about the completion of a cycle, letting go of things. This is all what we're talking about. This cycle is moon cycle we're in as well, with becomes her vision, is about letting go of those last remnants, the final remnants of this whole year cycle of what no longer is serving us. And here is the card here. So it is about death. It is about transformation. It is about letting go of things that aren't serving us. And in that is a rebirth and a growth and opportunity to step further into who we are becoming, but we need to create the space for that. So there is a process of alchemy happening here with all of us in a grand scale. So the final row, we have the 6 of Swords. So again, this is about, even though we might not know exactly where we're going, we can't see the end goal with all these changes, but we need to go through it, because in moving through it, we become stronger, and we're being asked, almost forced into trusting again on a deeper level what we don't know. Trust the unknown, trust the uncertainty, because in that uncertainty lies potential. Because once we, in our mind, if we have a fixed point of what, again, where we're going, and kind of like the final answer, then it's almost like putting on blinders, and it blinds us to other opportunities or other possibilities that are out there. And there are millions of them. So there is magic in the not knowing, but it is just allowing ourselves to get comfortable with it. And I know the ego does not want that. The ego wants to keep us safe. So it is allowing yourself to hold those spaces of meditation or stillness, being in nature, being in your body, where your focus isn't up here in our thoughts, but it's in the body, it's in the experience of being alive. And then that's where we can cultivate that feeling of trust that we are safe. And in each individual moment when we are present, that's where we are safe, that's where we are secure, and that's when we can step outside of that, the fear, which is in the thoughts, through our thoughts of the unknown. Because then we are when we're physical, we're in the present, we're in the known as well, and then trusting that everything is unfolding. Okay, so following that 6 of Swords, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So here we go, new beginnings coming in. They're already coming in, and I feel like there's inspired ideas, or I'm also getting, we're talking to people, there's people coming together, there's synchronicities of ideas and people coming in, which is going to create some new opportunities, and however these are going to unfold. And we have the Hanged Man next. So it is asking to be surrendered into this whole process, trying not to force anything into being what it is not. It's also just recognizing with our awareness and our thoughts that, well, this is what it is, and again, not trying to make it something that it's not, or not trying to force an outcome, not trying to force anything, just surrender to how it is unfolding, surrendering to where you are being led to, surrendering to where you are at right now in the present moment, and recognizing that everything is divinely unfolding. So following that, we have we have an extra tarot card here, and that is the Seven of Wands. And to me, this feels like, now hold on, just give me a second here. So what I was feeling initially with this card was fears coming up, that, again, fears of stepping into the unknown. Also an awareness of not allowing ourselves to fall into past patterns. So a lot of this too that we are shifting here, walking away from, is patterns. It's recognizing old patterns in however they manifest. I did mention routines at the beginning. It could be just simply a routine, which is part of a pattern. So even shaking up our daily routine can pull us out of a rut and bring in this new energized spaciousness in our day. It could be something as simple as that, but it can have a profound effect into how our day unfolds. So there is the Seven of Wands. Yeah, and that's really what it feels to me. It feels like for some of us, it's going to be old fears coming up, a fear of going back into the fears even, and of having awareness of old patterns. So we're just trying to pull ourselves out of it, actually. There's a feeling of leveling ourselves up consciously, wanting to do that with some fears around falling back into old patterns. So we have two clarifying cards that came out for this last row as well. So yeah, we had 3 extra cards for this final row. And so the first one, and this is all about beginnings, we have 2 new moon cards that fell out here. So the first one is a new moon in Gemini. Think it through. This full moon that this reading is for is a full moon in Gemini. And here we have the new moon card in Gemini. So I'm loving this. So as we are, if we're cutting cords, this, with this moon, if we are doing any releasing ceremonies of what we consciously want to release, what we know we need to release in order to move forward, to help us in our journey. Yeah, I feel like that, we are being encouraged to really work with the cycles right now, and to really consciously work with what, releasing what doesn't serve us, but also in that we can start creating our lists or whatever we want to work with and bring in as we are doing this, and as we were doing the releasing work, make our lists and start beginning the work for the new moon cycle as well. And then so that is ready. And so in 2 weeks, on the 30th of the month, we can already have that started, and then we can add to it, because it's all related, right? So the new moon in Gemini, think it through. So this also means, to me, it's about contemplation as well, because being that dark moon there is thinking it through. So it is in manifesting in a way, but it's sitting in that contemplative space of, again, feeling into and dreaming what we want our life to look like, and opening ourselves up to those inspirations and synchronicities. The other card that came in here was the new moon in Sagittarius. So focus on the positive. And that's partly why I was feeling that with the thinking it through and focusing on the positive, keeping our thoughts, really positive, and not focusing on the what ifs and the unknowns and the fears that come up as we are manifesting, but just really focus on the possibilities and what could be in the highest outcome for us and where we're feeling called to, and to trust that. Okay, so yeah, there's also just looking down the first row here too, with that Knight of Cups to the Eight of Cups. So we built something, but we've gone as far as we can with it, and it's time to fine tune it or tweak and walk away from things. Some of us, again, it's going to be on a massive scale, and others it's going to be more finer things, but they're all going to have a tremendous impact on our life. And but so if we've been feeling uncertain, or like I said, stuck or lost, with that the Six of Swords, there is also that feeling of this is temporary. So rest assured that we will move through this collectively, and things will feel more secure. We will come to a point where we feel more certain about where we are headed, and even what we're in currently. Yeah, and then with those, again, on the second row, moving down with the first tower and the second tower, and then the Ace of Pentacles, that is the destruction and the reorganization of our lives on some level in order to create space. So it is the letting go, changing routine, changing thoughts, changing relationships, changing our work somehow, in order to create this new beginning or new beginnings, and these opportunities and synchronicities. So we are creating space. A lot of it, I feel like, is our thoughts, and opening up our thoughts and letting go of a lot of the limitations. And again, it can be through the physicality in changing how we do things, taking a different way to work, different roads, doing some more exploring, changing your morning routine, whatever it might be, changing your diet, your exercise, getting into new hobbies. I don't know, whatever it might be for you, but those are things to explore. And then in the third row, in the final row, we have that Strength card, followed by the King of Swords. And this is actually also indicating to me with those two cards that it, again, calling on strength, but some of it's going to take a lot of strength to let go of what is known. We recognize that it's not serving us, or that it might be holding us back in some way. Again, it could be something in the outside, like a relationship or a job, but it could be also a belief that we hold. So it's going to take some strength and fortitude for us to actually act on it, to shift this. But this is what we're being asked to do. And then with that Hangman at the bottom of that row, it is about surrendering into the process, trusting that this is necessary for our growth. This is part of a larger cycle, and even the cycle of the larger cycle of the year, not only just the moon cycle, but of the whole year. And this is like a last cleansing, a big one before we begin 2025. So it's very important in a lot of ways, for a lot of us. And it's setting us up for a new, for the new energies and where we're moving into in this next cycle coming up. So just one final look at the cards here. Yeah, they're all just kind of reflecting each other. I'm looking crossways from, having the strength, letting go, making the changes, things happening around us, a lot of letting go, but being strong, digging into the strength. We're all stronger than we believe we are. And then trusting, that we are moving into better things. But staying positive as we are moving through this, choosing positive thoughts as we are looking into our futures and dreaming about our futures and what they might look like. and letting go and staying positive and having the gratitude, holding on to that gratitude of everything that brought us to where we are in this point. And even gratitude for having that feeling of being stuck or lost or stagnant, because that is showing us that we have harnessed everything we can out of this growth cycle. So it is time to consciously make some shifts. Okay, I think that is it. So my new moon gathering, the first one is on the 29th of December at 6 o'clock Pacific time. If you are interested in joining us for that, you can join through my website. I can leave the details below. Or if I can just send you a link personally, so you can email me. I'll leave my email below, or you can just leave a message here with your email, and I can reach out to you that way. I think that is it. So please be well. We will see you again, probably the 29th, with the next reading for the new moon reading on the 30th. Please be well and know that you are loved. Bye for now.